And like I probably said before already, like, you don't want to crack the egg. You don't need to know about the demons. You don't need to know about the attachments, the evil eye, and all the interpretations. In fact, that can actually keep a hold on you and hold on your mind by knowing, oh my God, people wanted to wrong me this bad. People wanted to do this to me, that to me. So this will help you finish off the spiritual egg cleansing. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're talking about the bloody yolk in an egg today. My first and foremost warning is never eat that, no matter what the science says. We are currently Jupiter and Gemini, and there's going to be a lot of misinformation. You can technically eat a bloody yolk egg if you crack one in real life, and you won't be harmed, but they're not considering spirit. And this is one of the things we have to watch for Jupiter and Gemini, where information is not going to have integrity at each step of the way when it comes to spirituality. Now, whether you have this happen in a dream or whether you have this happen in real life, we're going to talk a little bit about both. That's my first warning. Okay, hit the thumbs up and the likes button already. I'm going to start talking more and more about shamanism, about spiritual meanings of animals, spiritual meanings of real life things that happens, like having bloody yolk in an egg or in a dream. So if you want to do a dream reading or a cleansing, do check out my website and we'll go through and show you a cleansing. Okay, maybe in a separate video I'll teach you about an egg cleansing as well, because there are a lot of things out there that you don't want to do, and a lot of things out there that are misinformation and that. So if you want to hear about an egg cleansing and how to do an egg cleansing when you feel like you are being sent the evil eye, you're being enchanted, you're being put under a spell, you're being tethered to somebody spiritually speaking, whether through sexual connections and relationships or whether just through listening and communicating in ways that are detrimental and harmful. So hit the thumbs up and a likes button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the bloody yolk. Okay, an egg, when you crack it, whether again you're in a dream or you're in reality and you actually crack an egg and you see that, it's very disgusting. Technically, if you look at the media, the information on the internet, it'll say you can just take it out with the tip of a knife or spoon and eat the rest of the egg. But I say off the rip, never eat that, and hopefully through this story you'll understand why. So a little bit about this step one, I gotta kind of give you a little of the history and the mythology when it looks through religion, because again, we're in this Jupiter period, we're in a brand new season, and Jupiter is about religion and spirituality and storytelling. Okay, and Adam and Eve is a part of the story. So Adam and Eve, they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and one thing that happened, they got hungry, right? And so they weren't allowed to eat from the tree of life anymore, which made them immortal. And so now they were forced to eat through something called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now with that, the moment that you work with good and evil, you have the ability to become conscious about your own thoughts. Gemini, again, what I think separate from the society, whether this is the religious society, the scientific society, the spiritual community, doesn't really matter. So God basically gave an egg to Adam, Eve, so that they didn't have to eat from the tree of good and evil, and he ate the egg instead. And the egg is what gave them the consciousness. So my point is, step one, an egg is a very highly spiritual and powerful, impactful thing. Around many cultures in the world, eggs are always revered and considered a powerful symbolism of birth and fertility. Okay, literally an egg, right? And so the nutrients are sitting at the center of the egg in the yolk itself. And again, misinformation. Remember that time frame, whatever many years ago, was like, oh, don't eat the yolk of the egg. And it's like, well, a lot of the nutrients are in that. You're only eating the egg whites, you're missing a lot of the nutrients. But a lot of the egg white is creating this viscosis, a little viscosity before you actually even get to the center. So there's already like layers and layers and layers of protection. So a lot of the meaning of an egg is very protected and layered, and its meanings and its benefits and the harm and its ability to absorb. So the worst case scenario, I gotta get this out the way. The worst case scenario, if you get a bloody egg, it could be an omen for death. Okay, physical, real life death. I don't want to put a lot of energy on that, but I gotta be real and honest that life and death exist, and you got to be very careful. You want to just be very mindful, use your own intuition. And if you're pregnant and you hear this and you're watching this while you're pregnant and you crack a bloody yolk egg, I would say it's worth making a call and just taking precautions, right? Talk to your doctor, go to the clinic, and just make sure, do a little checkup on your baby. Okay, now on the positive side, if you're pregnant and you crack an egg and 2 yolks come out, then it might actually symbolize twins, or it will just symbolize a very good luck and healthy birth. Okay, so it could be one or the other, but a lot of times you will see twins are on the horizon. Now that's the worst case scenario. That's a good thing as well if you want twins, okay, if you're actually having a baby. So it's something to be useful for. But the more likely, the main purpose of when you crack a bloody egg, it is trying to help you understand that you are in the destruction process, like a woman, a female in her cycle, who goes through the rejuvenation and regeneration process as she has her monthly session of release and cleansing and purification, right? All right, so with that, it's going habits. Okay, this is usually the destruction and death of habits. It's usually the destruction and death of a project, which can be considered your baby. So it's not always as literal as your baby dying. And it also could be an omen for death in other areas that has nothing to do with your baby itself, metaphysically, physically, emotionally, or otherwise. Now, one of the main normal things that you'll see is cracking a bloody egg, whether in a dream, like I said. You gotta, if you watch it in a dream, you gotta be careful. Like, did you eat that in the dream? You want to go very lucid in your dreaming at this point and make sure you don't eat it. Okay, like seriously. And if you're watching this video, you see this and you eat a bloody egg in real life, don't eat it. It's bad. Like, spiritually speaking, like, I understand that in the physical mundane world, like, you can eat it and nothing's gonna happen to you. You're not gonna get cancer or diabetes from eating an egg, whatever. But spiritually speaking, you might be getting latched on to some low frequency energy that was sent your way. Now, when you see a bloody egg in a dream or in real life, this can be a process of you breaking free from limitations and negative thought processes when it comes to the years, the days, or even up to the decades. And I'll tell you a little brief story. Like, when I had this happen and I had a bloody egg in my dream, it was with food. It was being put on top of food, like a burger, and you know, food is nutrients. It's what fuels us. It's what gives us calories, aka energy, to burn so that we can sustain living and have, you know, energy and vitality to move forward and do something great in the world, right? Do something full of our inner strength and our inner power, which a lot of what the egg is about is about inner strength and inner power, where that shell on the outside is protective and it will keep it safe. Now, separate from that, it's about breaking habits. All right, it's about stepping into a new stage. A lot of times you might see 4, 3, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 1, and this equates to you going into a brand new stage. Okay, from with a grand foundational start. And with that, it's kind of like the Chariot card, where there's a battle, that's ensuing. There's something that is going to challenge you, something that's going to challenge your belief systems and your limitations about your true power. All right. The blood in the egg, when you see a bloody yolk, when you crack an egg, it is one of the things that's going to bring you through a journey. It's going to bring you through trials and tribulations, something very, very difficult before you get that access to your inner strength, inner power. And a lot of times it will be about you breaking the barrier that was keeping you from your inner demons. And so again, like I told you earlier in the story, with the story of Adam and Eve and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, there is that good and there is that evil, and man has to go through, okay, man, woman, humans, Homo sapiens, the creatures in this life form body, we have to go through the good and the evil in order to understand the true mystical principles and spiritual realities that exist in the ethics on the spiritual realms and planes. And you don't want to lie. You don't want to lie, especially to yourself, when it comes to how you've been disempowered, how you've been disenchanted. So when I look and I go back to my little dream, I didn't eat that. And, you know, a situation happened back in real life, and my dream was kind of warning me, and it was showing me that there was a time when I was getting ready to whoop somebody's ass, okay? Whooping ass, and I ended up whooping a lot of ass after this, and I was under a spell. I was under a spell of tremendous violence at a stage of my life. I was in and out of jail a few times in my life, and it's not the proudest stage of my life, but it was a part of the necessary evil that I needed to go through to step on the world stage and step out of my shell, the egg, step out of my shell to actually become and be and present the powerful inner strength of the strength card of tarot that I've always innately had to address things with certain sensitivity, compassion, and gentleness. And instead of meeting violence with violence, whether verbal violence, psychological, emotional violence, which is more the violence I feel against me, and then I responded with physical violence in certain stages of my life, and it was like, okay, look, the breaking of the egg was actually the breaking of the habits, breaking of the enchantment. Okay, this is a disenchantment energy when somebody has created a web. When a lot of people are doing spiritual egg cleanses, and when you do the egg, you put the water in the egg, you got the salt in the water, and try to read the egg. First off, I want to say, never read the egg, okay? When you do this, keep the egg inside the shell and throw it in a different town than your own town. Go to a different neighborhood, different barrio, so that the sewer system is not connected, and throw that in a sewer system down the drain while the egg is still cracked, while you still put that, no, I'm sorry, while the egg is still not cracked, while it's completely intact, while you still put that in water with salt, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon, and let it sit there and collect that. Now, when you're reading this, okay, there was a point when I did go see a shaman, and I was in my younger stages, and I had a tremendous amount of attachments and energies that were draining me, and I went ahead and I didn't know better, and I had this shaman, he read the egg for me. Now, when I want to do a video about this, so if you would like to hear a video about that egg cleanse, because I think it's going to be this one, let me know in the chat, say, egg cleanse, and I'll make a separate video about this, okay? Now, let's kind of dip into this. You want to really be careful about breaking the habits, breaking the lies, breaking the evil eye energy, the jealousy, the envy, okay, the clout, all of that, and it's about facing your inner demons and actually integrating those inner demons. And when you crack the egg of a bloody egg yolk, it's about breaking the barrier from keeping you from this darker nature, this dark psyche within you that is not bad, negative, or to be avoided, but to be integrated, okay, to be swallowed whole. Now, when you break the egg, this is a time frame where you might understand, you might be actually going through a major amount of frustration, a major amount of anger, a major amount of rage. This is dopamine release that's coming out, this energetic explosion is from all the times that you've been mishandled and mistreated, whether you mistreated and didn't respect yourself, and were denying true parts of your identity because you were ashamed to show the world your true power. This bloody egg dream is saying that it's now time to show your true power. It's also something that's saying that it's time to enhance your spiritual practices and your faith in God, your faith in your belief in a higher power, and actually take actions and and actively participate in your faith, in your religion, in your creed, whatever that is. Enhance your practices and actually show the world the enhancement of your practices. So for me right now, it's about speaking about this video. Like, these things I've been doing for years and years and years, but I don't talk about a lot of this stuff. And now it's like this is reminding me that it's time to show my true self as a shaman and all the lifespans and ancestors and ultimate, and mystical realms that I'm connected to start to show and reveal those abilities. All right, because it's here to help people. Now, one of the things you can see if you see this in a dream and you crack the egg inside of a glass. In Chinese culture, this can be about breaking away from the family's conditionings, the dynamics, and the ways in which they have maintained shame, guilt, and regrets over your head, aka limitations. It's about letting go of the past and focusing on more forgiveness and allowing that blood of the egg to represent rejuvenation and healing, deep, tremendous healing from where you used to limit yourself tremendously. The egg yolk breaking and having a bloody cracked egg usually represents tremendously difficult times. So I will say that, but these difficult times are about building your character, much like what Jupiter wants us to do. So this is a very Jupiterian type energy where it's about the unseen, it's about connecting to your pineal gland and being able to see with a spiritual awareness beyond any and all illusions, and being able to have faith in God and not say, why God, why me, but go, thank you God for this opportunity. So when you see the broken yoke, it's about an opportunity to collect your blessings and your gains that you've been due, that you've been owed, and this could be for decades. When I had this dream, the person had this enchantment on me. This is from like 12 plus years ago, and I've lesson that enchantment over my soul, over my spirit, over my mind. I would say mostly incrementally over the years. But breaking a yoke, each time it happens, it's happened to me multiple times. It's another stage of release and surrender of that enchantment. So this is ultimately what I have for you right now. You really want to go through a brand new identity when you have this process. You want to hit the thumbs up and the likes button. If you want to get the egg cleanse, I want to say drop egg cleanse down in the chat below, or drop an egg, and I will go ahead and show you a little bit more about what you can do with the egg cleanse and how to do it properly. And I want to say thank you for listening to this video, and I hope it's useful for you. This is a time where people are going to try to annoy and irritate you. Don't allow that noise to happen, and instead listen to the inner God and the inner demon, and allow them to both have their place, and allow them to operate through you without controlling you, and understand that you are in charge. So thank you for watching this video. This is your AstroShaman inspiring brilliance with spiritual accountability and occult practices, and we're learning those occult practices and keeping you spiritually accountable with Qigong and healing your organs every first and third Sunday in our memberships. And God is asking to have faith in the continuation of that membership. So I want to say thank you. If you're ready to join, I have so much that I'm ready to share, which is really just you remembering parts of who you've always been. I see you. I love you. And you're going to be more than okay. Okay, you're going to make it through this, and it's going to be a beautiful blessing on the other side. I promise you.
All right. So I'm here. I'm going to show you the drain. In all sincerity, I recommend that you go ahead and you pour down multiple streets, crossroads, different avenues, a completely different neighborhood and barrio, away from your apartment, away from your house, your home. I have this in a disposable cup. So notice this is one of the key things. I'm gonna pour it down in a disposable cup. Not a cup that I want to drink from, not a drinking water. A glass that's in my house that I want to keep because energy can stay in it. And like I probably said before already, you don't want to crack the egg. You don't need to know about the demons. You don't need to know about the attachments, the evil eye, and all the interpretations. In fact, that can actually keep a hold on you and hold on your mind by knowing, oh my God, people wanted to wrong me this bad. People wanted to do this to me, that to me. So this will help you finish off the spiritual egg cleansing without interpreting the signs of the egg cleansing or what the egg means. All right, so stay tuned for more spiritual tips and awareness, and stay accountable with us, spiritually speaking, joining our membership, learning more and more about this. And if I didn't say this again before, in the water I put pink salt, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon. These are all different protective agents. Pink salt, don't do table salt. Okay, you want pink salt or sea salt minimum. And I'm gonna get going with the rest of my day. I feel way better after I did do 2 eggs, but I'll probably give you the rest of that in a longer video outside of traffic. So I find it funny that there's broken glass right here. As I get ready to, I don't want to show you inside the cup because I don't want you to have anything to do with that. Bang. that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this away because that was just something that's biodegradable. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep the world a beautiful, beautiful place. You see, I'm disposing of this. That was nasty. Rockstar, baby. I don't know if you saw it. You see the rockstar mentality.